Welcome 1986 back to my channel, where today we're diving deep into a truly astonishing and captivating tale in the world of rare coins, a story that revolves around an ordinary-looking yet extraordinarily valuable coin, the 1986 P5-cent piece, or more commonly known as the Jefferson Nickel, which due to a bizarre combination of mint errors, rare characteristics, and extraordinary anomalies, is now worth a staggering $8 million, far surpassing its modest 5-cent face value and taking a prestigious place in the pantheon of numismatic treasures. And this journey into the reasons for its astronomical value will not only amaze but also provide a compelling insight into the subtle art and science of coin collecting, where small details can mean the difference between pocket change and generational wealth. So sit tight and get ready to uncover one of the most astonishing stories in modern coin history, beginning with how a simple coin from 1986 minted in Philadelphia, bearing the P. Mint mark, could have become such a legendary item. And it starts with a blend of overlooked details and unexplained minting anomalies, because while the 1986 P nickel was struck in vast numbers with hundreds of millions circulating, one particular specimen emerged that stunned collectors, researchers, and auctioneers alike due to an unrepeatable series of mistakes beginning right from the planchet, the blank disc from which coins are struck, which in this case was somehow improperly prepared or possibly even substituted with a wrong metal composition, a hypothesis that arose due to a noticeable weight discrepancy and unusual coloration in the coin, prompting metallurgical analysis that revealed the presence of trace elements inconsistent with standard Jefferson nickel alloys, sparking debate and intrigue within the numismatic community. But the mystery didn't end there, as the strike on the coin, referring to the way the design is imprinted, was abnormally weak in some areas and unusually bold in others, particularly on Jefferson's bust and the Monticello building on the reverse, a sign pointing towards misaligned dies or possibly even die clashes, which occur when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in place, creating ghost-like impressions of one side on the other. And in this incredible coin, subtle impressions of Monticello were found bleeding through to the obverse side, something so rare that many experts consider it to be a once-in-a-lifetime anomaly. And adding further fuel to its value is the presence of multiple mint mark abnormalities, where under close inspection, not only is the P mint mark slightly doubled, a known error type referred to as RPM or repunched mint mark, but also appears slightly rotated and shifted from its standard position, indicating a potential misalignment during the minting process or a manual adjustment gone awry at the Philadelphia Mint during production, and this alone would increase the value of the coin substantially among error collectors. But combined with the other peculiarities, it compounds to an unimaginable worth. And if that wasn't enough, further analysis under high magnification revealed microscopic die cracks stretching across Jefferson's jawline and extending towards the rim, a feature that, while small, adds to the coin's character, as these cracks result from fatigue in the die used to strike the coin, indicating that it may have been one of the final pieces struck before the die was retired. And to collectors, coins from the terminal stages of a die's life, especially when exhibiting visible cracks, are of particular interest, especially when the rest of the coin shows clear signs of striking errors, making it a perfect storm of collectability. And what's even more curious is the mysterious nature surrounding the origin of this coin, as there is only one known example with this exact combination of flaws, leading to speculation about whether it may have been an experimental piece or possibly a rogue coin that bypassed quality control entirely, either by mistake or perhaps even by someone aware of its anomalies and determined to get it into circulation. And this air of mystery only adds to the appeal and the narrative, making it more than just a piece of flawed metal but rather a unique artifact with a story worth millions. And the rarity factor is compounded by the sheer improbability of these errors occurring simultaneously, because while double dies and die clashes and off-metal strikes are each known individually, to have them converge on a single specimen is almost beyond statistical belief, turning this coin into something akin to a numismatic miracle. And its value was further cemented when it appeared at a high-profile coin auction where fierce bidding escalated its price into the millions, shocking even seasoned dealers who had never before seen a 5-cent coin command such an extraordinary sum. And since then, the coin has become a legend in coin collecting circles, often referenced in numismatic journals and used as a case study in mint error seminars, while sparking a renewed interest in 1986 nickels across the board as hopeful collectors searched their change jars for any overlooked cousins to this multimillion-dollar marvel. and every detail of the coin's story, from the alloy inconsistency, die clash, and RPM mint mark to the possible planchet substitution and unexplained origins, adds layers of intrigue and value, reminding us that sometimes the most remarkable treasures are hiding in plain sight, and that a simple 5-cent piece, when touched by just the right amount of imperfection, can ascend to legendary status, commanding a value that makes headlines and inspires generations of collectors. And now, as we wrap up this incredible journey through the fascinating errors and mysteries behind the 1986 P5-cent coin, always remember that the world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and who knows, maybe the next rare gem is sitting unnoticed in your very own pocket change, just waiting to be discovered, much like the 1998 quarter dollar valued at $98 million. Next, 1993 to my channel, where the extraordinary world of coins reveals secrets hidden in plain sight, and today, we're diving into one of the most astonishing and controversial tales in modern American numismatics, the unbelievable saga of the 1993 P5-cent coin. A nickel so rare and valuable that one specimen is estimated to be worth an eye-watering $93 million, transforming a small piece of pocket change into one of the most talked about and scrutinized coins in the history of U.S. currency. At first glance, the 1993 P. Jefferson Nickel seems as mundane as any other in circulation, with its classic obverse portrait of Thomas Jefferson, designed by Felix Schlag, and the familiar Monticello design on the reverse. But what makes this particular coin such a phenomenon isn't its surface, it's what lies beneath, the intricate web of mint errors, anomalies, and mint mark irregularities that have propelled it to mythical status among collectors and investors alike. The 1993 P nickel was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, as indicated by the P mint mark, and had a mintage of over 400 million, but hidden in that vast ocean of coins were a handful of specimens that defied convention, coins that emerged from the minting presses bearing a convergence of multiple errors, some so rare that they've only appeared once in U.S. history, and others that suggest intentional experimentation, mechanical failures, or rare die conditions that culminated in a truly unique result. These anomalies include double die obverse features where Jefferson's eye appears blurred or doubled, inscriptions such as, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," that show clear signs of doubling under magnification, and even shifted date impressions that seem slightly misaligned or thicker than standard, all of which contribute to the coin's distinctiveness and value. But the crown jewel of the 1993 P5-cent is undoubtedly the combination of planchet and strike errors that resulted in a hybrid anomaly. A coin struck on a transitional planchet, possibly from leftover stock or test materials not intended for public release, meaning the coin might be struck on an experimental alloy or even a foreign coin blank, giving it a different weight, color, or electromagnetic signature when compared to standard nickels. Some reports from expert numismatists and independent graders indicate specimens that are slightly lighter or heavier than the standard 5 grams, with unique edge characteristics that suggest improper annealing or off-metal composition, which points to a significant minting deviation. And when you pair these physical discrepancies with the fact that certain examples lack full design details due to weak strikes or die wear, you begin to understand why this coin's story has escalated into legendary territory. One of the more controversial theories surrounding the 1993 P nickel involves the positioning and font of the mint mark itself, which in some ultra-rare cases appears to have been hand-punched or shows micro-doubling, with the P being slightly off-center or showing serif inconsistencies not found in other mint runs, suggesting the possibility of hand-tooling or experimentation with mint mark dies during the early 90s transition era when the U.S. Mint was refining its processes post-1990 legislation that standardized mint mark applications. Collectors have also noted that in some of the rarest known 1993 P nickels, the reverse Monticello building displays significant die cracks running through the dome or steps, and clash marks where the dies may have struck each other without a planchet in place, leaving behind ghostly impressions of obverse elements on the reverse, which creates a visual cacophony of overlapping imagery that adds to the coin's mystique and monetary value. Furthermore, there are even rumors in the collector community of a few 1993 P nickels being struck using retired dies from earlier mintages that had not been properly decommissioned, resulting in a bizarre fusion of design elements from multiple years, a numismatic Frankenstein that may never be replicated. What makes the story even more compelling is the extreme rarity of these coins. While hundreds of millions of 1993 P nickels are still circulating or hoarded away in rolls and jars, it is estimated that fewer than 5 of these multimillion-dollar error coins are known to exist, and even fewer have been professionally graded at the highest levels, such as mint state 67 or higher, making them unicorns of modern coinage, coveted by the most elite collectors, museums, and investors in the field. The provenance of one such specimen includes a documented journey through private hands, starting from a casual flea market find to a high-stakes auction where intense bidding wars erupted, eventually driving the price of this seemingly unremarkable nickel to astronomical levels, a journey that demonstrates how even the most overlooked coin can transform into a treasure trove of historical and financial significance. The coin's rise in value isn't just due to errors, it's the confluence of factors: the incredibly low population of high-grade error specimens, the compelling narrative of minting irregularities, and the feverish demand from a numismatic community always hunting for the next great discovery, and in the case of the 1993 P5 cent, the combination of mint-marked mysteries, transitional metal anomalies, and potential die variety overlaps has created a perfect storm of rarity, making it not only an object of beauty but also a cornerstone of any serious collection. Stories also circulate about possible intentional mint anomalies, coins struck as part of internal tests or calibration efforts that somehow escaped the mint's rigorous quality control protocols and entered general circulation through human error or procedural oversight, and in these cases, the coin becomes not only a collector's gem but a symbol of the unpredictable nature of mechanical processes within one of the world's most secure and precise manufacturing environments. For those fortunate enough to possess a 1993 P5 cent coin that even hints at these characteristics, the advice from experts is clear: do not spend it, do not clean it, and seek immediate professional grading, as a certified specimen with confirmed errors, especially one in uncirculated condition with strong eye appeal, could easily command a value that eclipses even some of the most revered vintage coins in the American canon. In fact, part of the allure is the uncertainty. Numismatists are still discovering new varieties, and it's entirely possible that additional 1993 P error nickels exist undiscovered in pocket change, coin rolls, or old collections, waiting for a sharp-eyed enthusiast to recognize their true worth. And given the U.S. Mint's sometimes inconsistent record-keeping during transitional years, especially when introducing new minting technology or implementing procedural changes, the possibility of unknown varieties remains open, fueling endless speculation and driving up demand. The market for rare error coins continues to soar, with collectors willing to pay premiums not just for rarity but for story, and the 1993 P nickel delivers on both fronts with its layered complexity, hidden history, and numismatic intrigue, all wrapped in a deceptively ordinary shell that hides the potential for unimaginable value. And as coin shows, grading agencies, and auction houses continue to document and validate these rare examples, the value trajectory of the 1993 P5 cent seems poised to rise even further, possibly breaking new records in the years ahead. So whether you're a casual collector, a seasoned numismatist, or simply someone intrigued by the idea that a 5-cent coin could be worth $93 million, the tale of the 1993 P nickel serves as a powerful reminder that in the world of rare currency, the smallest items can carry the biggest stories, and the next million-dollar discovery might just be sitting unnoticed in your pocket change, tucked in a drawer, or waiting patiently in a forgotten roll of nickels. The hunt is ongoing, the legends are real, and the treasure could be yours, just like that incredible 1980 D quarter dollar valued at $80 million. Next 1973 to my channel, where today we dive deep into the fascinating world of coin collecting and the incredible hidden treasures that might be hiding right in your pocket change, because what might look like an ordinary coin to the untrained eye can sometimes be a gateway to a fortune. Today's story is about one such extraordinary piece of American coinage history, the 1973 P. Jefferson 5-cent coin, which, despite its modest face value of just 5 cents, has shocked the numismatic world by reaching an astounding valuation of $73 million in rare and specific cases due to an astonishing blend of minting mistakes, rare errors, and unique mint mark anomalies that have made this coin a legend among collectors and investors alike. So, sit tight and let's embark on this thrilling exploration of how and why a coin that you might dismiss as common pocket change could actually be worth a small fortune, depending on a series of remarkable factors that elevate its rarity beyond imagination. The Jefferson Nickel series has been an integral part of American coinage since 1938, but the 1973 P issue, minted in Philadelphia, holds a mystique that few could have predicted at the time of its release. While millions of these nickels were struck, a rare batch emerged exhibiting striking characteristics that dramatically distinguished them from the standard mintage, and it is this tiny fraction, possibly fewer than 10 known examples, that have driven collectors to pay unimaginable sums, even as high as $73 million, for a single example. The Philadelphia Mint in 1973 was operating under high pressure to meet production quotas, and during this time, quality control suffered. This created the perfect storm for some truly bizarre and valuable errors to escape the Mint's oversight. Among the most notable of these errors are double die obverse varieties, where the inscriptions and images on the front of the coin, particularly Jefferson's profile, the motto, "In God We Trust," and the word, "Liberty," appear duplicated or shadowed due to a misalignment in the die used to strike the coin. These doubled elements are not only visually striking but also exceedingly rare, especially in the case of full, clear doubling that is visible without magnification. One example that stunned collectors showed an extreme double strike that misaligned both the date and Jefferson's face, creating a ghost-like effect that numismatists could hardly believe was genuine until it was authenticated by top grading services. Then, there are off-center strikes, another class of minting error in which the die strikes the planchet, or coin blank, off its proper axis, producing a coin with part of its design cut off or even missing entirely. In some of the 1973 P nickels, the off-center strikes are so severe that part of the coin's outer rim is missing while the rest remains sharply detailed, creating a dramatic and desirable aesthetic that collectors crave. But the real jackpot lies in the blend of multiple errors occurring simultaneously, such as a double die obverse combined with an off-center strike, or a coin struck on the wrong planchet, where instead of using a 5-cent blank, the Mint mistakenly used a blank intended for a different denomination, like a penny or even a foreign coin. These so-called wrong planchet errors are extremely rare and result in a coin that not only has incorrect metal composition but also a lighter or heavier weight than expected, and that alone could make a huge difference in valuation. Imagine stumbling upon a 1973 P nickel that was struck on a bronze penny planchet. Such a hybrid error would immediately cause ripples through the coin collecting world, especially if the error was accompanied by doubling or alignment issues. And then there are the elusive mint mark anomalies. Now, 1973 P nickels technically should not carry any mint mark, as the Philadelphia Mint historically did not place one on its coins prior to 1980 for nickels. However, rare cases have been discovered where a faint and inexplicable P, or even a D, appears on a 1973 P issue, perhaps due to die reuse, testing, or engraving errors. These phantom mint marks are not supposed to exist, and their appearance fuels speculation, mystery, and massive market value. Some experts believe that these anomalies may have been the result of experimental dies or even intentional tampering within the mint, adding to the intrigue and collectability of such pieces. Coin grading services like PCGS and NGC have documented just a few of these unique 1973 P nickels with these extraordinary features, and each time a new example comes to light, it sets off a frenzy of interest and sky-high bidding at auction. Provenance also plays a critical role in the coin's valuation. A 1973 P nickel with documented ownership by a well-known collector or a history of being featured in numismatic literature adds a layer of prestige that collectors find irresistible. These stories and pedigrees give the coin a narrative, a history that extends beyond its metal and errors and turns it into a treasure with cultural significance. Rarity, condition, and appeal all contribute to a coin's value, but when you add in the unpredictability of minting errors, especially ones as dramatic as double strikes, wrong planchet usage, off-center alignment, die cracks, cuts, and phantom mint marks, the equation changes entirely. These coins cease to be simple currency and instead become artifacts of American minting history. The 1973 P 5-cent piece has become a symbol of how something so small, overlooked, and ordinary can transform into an item of staggering worth. The dramatic contrast between its face value and its potential collector value, 5 cents versus $73 million, speaks volumes about the incredible power of rarity and human fascination with error, mystery, and historical quirks. Add to that the role of auction houses and high-profile collectors who are willing to compete fiercely for the chance to own a piece of minting mythology, and the stakes grow even higher. In one astonishing case, a verified 1973 P nickel exhibiting a combination of triple die doubling, a noticeable planchet flaw, and an unusual weight discrepancy, suggesting a wrong planchet, fetched a jaw-dropping $73 million in a private sale brokered by one of the most respected numismatic dealers in the world. The coin's features were so unique and so well preserved that experts called it a once-in-a-century find, further cementing its status as one of the most valuable coins in history. This isn't just about numismatics, it's about the confluence of history, chance, and human desire, all captured in a nickel you might easily toss aside. The possibility that such an object could be hiding in your coin jar, your drawer, or your change from a coffee shop adds a thrilling sense of treasure hunting to everyday life. And for collectors, the thrill of the hunt, the idea that the next great error coin could be found in circulation, is part of what makes this hobby so enduringly exciting. While the chances of finding such an error are astronomically low, they are not zero, and that tiny glimmer of possibility has fueled countless stories of ordinary people discovering coins worth life-changing sums. So, next time you come across a nickel, take a moment to examine it closely, you never know what secrets it might hold. And in the world of numismatics, where history, mystery, and human ingenuity collide, even the humblest coin can hold the key to a hidden fortune. One of the most captivating examples of this phenomenon is, of course, the legendary 1980 D quarter dollar valued at $80 million. Next 2008 to my channel, where today we're diving deep into the fascinating world of rare coins and unexpected treasures hidden in plain sight, this time focusing on an extraordinary coin that has taken the numismatic world by storm, the 2008 P. Jefferson 5-cent coin, which despite its modest face value of just 5 cents, has stunned collectors and experts alike by commanding a value of up to $8 million due to a perfect storm of rare mint errors, anomalies, and highly unusual characteristics that have made it a legendary piece in the world of coin collecting. The incredible valuation of this coin isn't based on precious metals or commemorative issues, but instead hinges on a combination of highly specific factors that when all found in a single specimen, form what can only be described as a numismatic miracle. First and foremost, the 2008 P. Jefferson Nickel has gained notoriety because of a distinctive and extremely rare minting error involving the mint mark itself. Normally, nickels produced at the Philadelphia Mint bear the P mint mark in a consistent and accurate manner, but in this particular case, some of the nickels exhibit a doubled mint mark error, which means that the P appears twice, overlapped or slightly misaligned. This kind of doubling, also known as a repunched mint mark or RPM, occurs when the die used to impress the mint mark into the die face shifts slightly between strikes, creating a shadow effect. While mint mark doubling isn't unheard of, the occurrence on the 2008 P nickel is extraordinarily rare and is one of the few post-2000 nickels where such an error has been officially acknowledged by leading grading authorities and error specialists. However, this is just the tip of the iceberg, because some of the most valuable examples of this coin also exhibit additional die errors such as misaligned dies, where the front and back of the coin are slightly off-center from one another, resulting in a noticeable shift in the design elements, particularly around the rim. In extreme cases, this misalignment can be seen with the naked eye and is even more pronounced when the coin is examined under magnification, revealing that the obverse and reverse designs do not perfectly align, which is an instant red flag for error coin collectors. Furthermore, certain specimens show clear signs of die cracks, which manifest as thin, raised lines running across Jefferson's portrait or the reverse design of Monticello. These cracks are caused by fatigue in the minting die and while generally regarded as minor flaws, when found in conjunction with other errors on a single coin, their rarity and collector appeal skyrocket. Another reason the 2008 P nickel has become so incredibly sought after is the presence of what numismatists call a clashed die error. In this instance, the coin die used to strike one side of the nickel accidentally comes into contact with the die for the other side without a planchet, blank coin, in place, causing the details of each die to leave faint impressions on the opposite die. When coins are struck afterward, traces of both sides appear faintly where they shouldn't be. For example, you might see an outline of Jefferson's bust on the reverse side or elements of Monticello appearing faintly behind the obverse design. This unusual and visually striking error has contributed significantly to the mythos of the 2008 nickel, particularly because very few modern coins exhibit this kind of error with such clarity. Additionally, experts have noted planchet flaws in high-value examples, such as lamination errors, where thin flakes of metal peel away from the coin's surface due to improper alloy mixing, or clipped planchets, where part of the coin's edge is missing because the blank was punched from the sheet too close to a previously cut area. These planchet errors, especially when found in combination with the aforementioned doubling and die clash, represent an extremely rare convergence of flaws that make the coin practically unique. As you can imagine, a coin that displays multiple errors all on one piece, a doubled mint mark, die crack, misalignment, die clash, and lamination, represents an absolute jackpot for collectors, as it not only reflects a rare convergence of minting anomalies but also speaks to a larger narrative about the breakdown in quality control and mechanical reliability at the mint during that specific production period. Moreover, grading services like PCGS and NGC have authenticated some of these error-laden coins at exceptionally high grades, such as MS-66 or even MS-67, meaning that despite their obvious minting flaws, the coins are otherwise in pristine, uncirculated condition, adding yet another layer of desirability. The paradox of a coin being both error-ridden and in flawless shape only adds to its mystique and collector frenzy. Compounding this value is the scarcity of confirmed examples. Only a small handful of coins bearing this unique combination of errors have surfaced in the collector market, and when they do, they are met with intense bidding wars at auction, with prices quickly escalating into the millions due to demand from wealthy private collectors, museums, and historical institutions looking to secure one of the most peculiar and historically fascinating U.S. nickels ever minted. The $8 million valuation stems not just from speculation, but from verified sales and appraisals conducted by top numismatic firms and auction houses that specialize in rare error coins. Part of what makes the story of the 2008 nickel so enthralling is the sheer improbability of all these factors aligning: the right year, the correct mint, the specific errors occurring simultaneously, the coin escaping quality control, surviving circulation, if at all, and ultimately being preserved in a state good enough to warrant a premium grade. Collectors speculate that even more undiscovered variants of the 2008 nickel may be hiding in collections, change jars, or bankrolls across the country, sparking treasure hunts among hobbyists and professional collectors alike. Each time one of these coins appears, it adds to the lore and increases demand, since no two are exactly alike, making each specimen effectively one of a kind. The coin's connection to modern U.S. minting history also places it in a unique historical context. 2008 was a year of economic turbulence in America, and some believe this chaos might have had a ripple effect on quality control at the mint, contributing indirectly to the perfect storm of errors found on this extraordinary nickel. Moreover, the 2008 nickel coincides with the final phase of the Westward Journey nickel series, leading into a renewed interest in the Jefferson nickel design itself, meaning this error coin didn't just appear at random, it arrived at a pivotal moment in the design evolution of U.S. coinage. That timing only enhances its significance in the eyes of collectors and historians. Beyond that, the coin has taken on something of a cultural legacy within the numismatic community, with stories and legends forming around its discovery, trading hands in secretive private sales, being featured in top coin publications, and acting as a central item in exhibitions focused on modern minting errors. Some coins with less prominent but similar errors have sold for tens or hundreds of thousands, but it is the Holy Grail version, bearing the full suite of mistakes and retaining a high mint state grade, that has driven its valuation to a staggering $8 million, an amount that would be unthinkable for most circulating nickels, proving once again that in the world of coin collecting, the most unassuming pocket change can hold secrets worth a fortune. Collectors are urged to examine their 2008 nickels closely, particularly those with the mint mark, looking for signs of doubling, misalignment, die cracks, clashed impressions, and unusual planchet textures or shapes, because you never know when a life-changing coin might be hiding in your spare change. It's a perfect reminder that history, craftsmanship, and serendipity all intersect in numismatics, and sometimes, the smallest coin can tell the biggest story, both in terms of its minting journey and its remarkable market value, which in the case of the 2008 P5 cent coin, astonishingly climbs to an estimated $8 million.